All right, Advent of Code, day 15. This seems tricky. Okay, we have some negatives. This is interesting. Oh, it actually gives the location. Right. I see. These numbers are too large to like iterate through. Number of positions a beacon cannot possibly exist. The row where... Okay, I guess what we can do... Okay. Okay, I think this is... Wait, what's the range on X? Is there one? I feel like there shouldn't be. I feel like there should be, but... Oh, I see. Cannot contain a beacon. Sure. Call it. I don't know. Let's do like. This does seem kind of large. We'll do something like this. I don't know. Increase that. And we're just going to check each beacon. Sensor X, sensor Y, beacon X, beacon Y. And if this XY the dist from Sx to X is, what if there's a tie? There's never a tie. Okay. Yes. Okay, if it's less than distance from I don't actually know if this is like the right range. Let me see. I need to get PyPy ready next time. Oh, whoops, other way around. If it's not pos, and we'll do fast this goes. Wow, that is really slow. That's to be expected, I guess. Actually, don't need to do this library anymore. Okay, that's much faster. False. That doesn't seem right. What I want is C. Oops. I'm also going to make this like this. If it's the same number, I'll submit it. It is not. Let's make it even larger. Oh, I'm writing the wrong thing. Need to be thinking about part 2. It's going to be a larger range. Not the right answer, actually. Okay. That's interesting. Let's try sample. Okay, let's sample. We'll set the y to be like 10. This is okay. So this is not right. Not pos. Nope. What are the positions? Where it cannot possibly exist. Oh, I think we care about this. That I think was a bug. Let's see if it's 26. It's 27. I mean, that condition, we should get that condition. Yeah, so let's see which locations. 0 through 24. Wait, what? We should have more, right? Oh, and -1 and -2. -1, -2, up through 24. This seems right. Oh, I guess there can't be, if, we can't be where a sensor is. So I think this is the right correction. Because there will be things in this row. No. I thought this condition should be handled. Yeah, what's going on here? Beacon. So this is going to be 0, 1, 2, 2, 10. Yeah, x equals 2, y equals 10. We should be handling that. Oh. Okay. Where it cannot be present. Sorry, if there's a sensor there, it's false. Wait, hang on. If x and y is the beacon location, then there definitely can be one there. So we just do this. I think this is right. Yeah, okay. This looks good. Oh, crap. Let's see. Okay, rank 95. This part, I imagine, is going to be tougher. It's not detected, but it must have x and y coordinates, each no lower than 0 and no larger than... Okay, we definitely can't search this whole area. Interesting. Okay, so each beacon projects like a sort of diamond around it of locations where it cannot be. Oh, so here's an idea. Basically, I see. Well, that's not feasible. Let me think. Let me think about this. Yeah, I think we just put bounds on its on the sum of the x coordinates and on the difference of the x coordinates. I think that sounds right because we're sort of drawing diagonal lines. Okay, so what we're gonna do for sensor x, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say we can't have must be the case that we'll call it like ty minus the sensor y plus tx minus sensor x is greater than z, right? And let's see, there's a few cases here. One is these are both like this, and this tells us that the target x plus the target y is greater than sx plus sy plus z. See, the min is going to be we're going to be the lower end of these, I think. Or sorry, the lower bound starts, and then we have lower bound, upper bound. And then we have a diff, lower bound, upper bound. Cool. Okay, so we learned this. What are the things we learned? This is one of them. That's when these are both already positive. When this one is negative, we learn this. And what does this tell us? So this is going to be plus plus, and we get this. This is going to be minus plus, and here we're going to get tx minus ty is greater than z plus sx minus sy. Okay. Next up, we have plus minus. This is going to, in this case, we're going to be ty minus sy minus tx plus sx. That's going to be greater than z. Let's see, and this one is going to tell us that minus tx plus ty is greater than z minus sx plus sy. And we're going to flip the sign on this just so it's consistent. So negate everything. Minus z plus sx minus sy. And finally, minus minus is going to be sy minus ty plus or sorry, I'll just be consistent, minus ty plus sy minus tx plus sx. It's going to be greater than z, once again. And this is going to boil down to minus tx plus dy minus sx minus sy. And this is going to look like a lower bound of minus plus plus. Okay, cool. Now we're ready to just do stuff. So the sum lower bound, we're trying to make this as large as possible lower bound. The sum must be at least z plus sx plus sy. And the upper bound can be no larger than minus z plus sx plus sy. Does that sound right? Like, if I run this, no, that doesn't look right. These are both positive. What did I do wrong? Gx plus ty has to be at least. Let me think about this. So, if sx, sy is like 5, 5, and z is like 3, what does this tell us about x plus y? So x plus y is a diagonal where if we add 1 to x, x plus y constant is the diagonal where we add 1 to x and we have to subtract 1 from y. So let's see, like 8, 5, and then something like 9, 4. Is this still okay? Or like 7, 6. 7, 6 is still Manhattan distance 3 away. Okay, I think this is correct. And so here we get 13. So it is, the upper bound is 5 plus 5 plus 3. I'm a little confused about these. I'm just going to switch these. I'm not fully convinced why I want them to be switched, but that is just what I will do for now. Sorry, min and max. This still doesn't look right. This does tell us that like x plus y could be at most, it has to be at least 13 is what it tells us. Oh, yeah, so the lower bound has to be, wait, I think this makes sense. The lower bound has to be like at least 13 for this example. And then what about in the other direction? Let's see. That would just be equivalent to like, let's do 2, 5. So the sum here is 7. Yeah, this is going to be sum of these two, sx plus sy minus z. So I think it needs to be between, oh, sorry. It can either be, I see. It either needs to be less than, oh, I am like confusing myself here. So we're interested in finding the one location that is not covered. Yeah, so it needs to be like, any one of these constraints must be the case for all of these numbers. Okay. If we invert, does that make things easier? I don't think so. Yeah, any one of these constraints. So let's see, sum greater than, here's going to be the constraints. Sum less than, and then diff, or sorry, well, diff is going to be expressed as always x minus y greater than x minus y less than. So these are going to be our constraints. And what the constraints are going to be is it's going to be, yeah, so I think Sx, so for the sum greater than, sum can either be greater than z plus sx plus sy, or it could be less than minus z plus sx plus sy. Oops. Next, the difference can either be greater than z plus sx minus sy, or it could be less than minus z plus sx minus sy. Okay, so these are going to be our constraints. We have these constraints now. And exactly one of these must be obeyed for each point. Do I have Z3 installed? I think I do. Can I just constraint solve this? Sure. I think this will work. Is X being used? No. Yeah, so we're going to add a bunch of constraints. What we're going to do is we're going to say for constraints, yeah, one of these must be true. Either x greater than, or sorry, let's make like x plus y sum xy, and then diff xy. Then either sum xy greater than a, sum xy less than a, diff xy, or sorry, b, greater than c, or diff xy less than b. One of these must be true, and then we'll just solve. Check. Does that not work? That's not. I forget how to do this. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it is indexing. No, it's not. M is s.model. Print m. Oh, this is Python 2. I think I can do like model.evaluate. It's been so long. Oh, okay. That doesn't look right, honestly. But no, that can't be right. Let's see. What went wrong here? Let's try the sample. Need to add in the code now. And oops, why did that not work? Is it int? It is empty. So we have the new input, and then sorry, there's another constraint here, and that constraint, I missed this one. Yeah, this is an obvious constraint we need. So we need x greater than 0, y greater than equal to, or sorry, and then x less than equal to. I'll just copy this, and we need the same constraints for y. We're going to get rid of the sample input. Okay, these are numbers. What do we want to do? Multiplying x by this and adding its y. I got the wrong x. There we go. That's a number. I guess we submit this. Rank 81. Oh, man. That is a tough day. I guess I am kind of happy I leaderboarded both parts. But I definitely did not get a lot of points from that. Man, I wonder if there was a smarter way to do this. I mean, I know that even if everyone else did this method, they probably did it faster because I like stumbled over it a lot here. Especially with a constraint solver that I have not used in a long time. But I think this idea of the trick of like projecting like intersections of half planes is probably the way that you're supposed to do part 2 and probably what everyone else did. I think the constraint solver to actually solve these constraints was for sure pretty hacky. I am not sure what the better way to do this would be. Yeah. I don't know, actually. I think, like, I guess a thing you can do is you can, maybe you start off with, I doubt this is faster, right? But you can start off with, like, these constraints, and you can sort of, like, well, you have to, like, guess which one of these. I'm actually not sure. I'll be curious to see how everyone else solved this. But yeah, this is definitely a tricky day. Man. So I guess probably not going to have great visualizations for this, but I'll try and explain a little bit what my part 2 approach was. I'll get out the trusty MS Paint. So basically what happens is, like, whenever you care about L1 distance, which is also the same thing as, Manhattan distance. It helps, I think, to think about it geometrically. The L1 ball, or like the set of points that is less than some L1 distance away from another point, is always going to look like a diamond in 2 dimensions. And in 3 dimensions, it looks like, something like this. I don't actually know what shape this is. It's one of these, like, solids, octahedron or something. I don't really know. It doesn't really matter here. Anyways, so we get this sort of diamond. And this diamond is like a special shape, right? There's like a lot of things we can do with this diamond that we couldn't do with like other distances. Like if we were doing the Euclidean distance, you get like a circle. But one nice thing you could do here is you can like these are always going to be diagonals. And they're always going to be like main diagonals and off diagonals is what I call them. And you can uniquely describe a diagonal by the equation like x, let's see, if we're going to do like, we'll make this x plus in this direction, and this will be like y plus in this direction. Yeah, so if we go up this diagonal, we're like increasing x and y by 1 each time. So what's actually true is that the difference x minus y is going to be constant. This is just like a special fact about diagonals. And this other line, right, whenever we increase x by 1, we have to decrease y by 1. So this is actually going to be x plus y equals constant. And you can specify every diagonal in this way. And basically what my solution is doing is I'm going through and saying, okay, we have all these points, right? So we have all these sensors, and each of these sensors like finds a beacon somewhere, right? And what does that tell us? Let's do like beacon up here. That tells us that there can be no other beacon within the L1 ball, like right here. I'm bad at drawing this, but you get the idea. So this entire region is like off limits, right? And then maybe for this one, there is a point right like here. This is the closest one to here. So that would tell us like this is the whole region that that this one can't see. Or sorry, that this one can see, and we know for sure there can't be anything else here because I drew it like this, but really it should be like this. And this whole region is like off limits. I'm not going to fill it in, but we know that there can't be anything in here. And then maybe we have like another region here because this point can see like straight down. He sees this one. And then we fill in like this region as well, right? And the idea is that if we were to like draw all these regions, the point we care about is like the only point that is not covered by one of these orange diamonds, right? So how do we find that point? Well, what's true is that if the orange diamond is like, if the point we're interested in is definitely not in an orange diamond, like maybe it was right here, for each of these orange diamonds, like we know it's not inside, so it must be the case that the diagonals that it lies on, here are the diagonals that it lies on, exactly one of these diagonals must be beyond the other diagonal of every one of these orange squares. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like just look at this one orange diamond up here. We know that our target point must be on a main diagonal that is like further in this direction, or on a main diagonal that is further in this direction, or it can be on an off diagonal that is further in this direction, or an off diagonal that's further in this direction. And any one of these is like if it's this diagonal, any point along here is fine. If it's this diagonal, any point along here is fine, at least with respect to this orange diamond. And in this case, as it turns out, like it's actually better, like it's fine for both. But you can imagine like a magenta point like right here, if this is our target point. Like it's not on a main diagonal that is like further, but it is on an off diagonal that is like further. So this point would be fine with respect to this orange diamond. So we sort of get all these constraints about the diagonals that this magenta point can lie on. We know that for each of these orange squares, it has to satisfy one of the inequalities. It could satisfy more than one, but it has to satisfy at least one. And this gives us like, it's not really a system of inequalities because we don't know which inequality it matches. But it is like kind of like a system of inequalities. Anyways, and basically what I did is I just set up everything here. This was me just doing algebra to make sure I didn't mess up any of these diagonals. And you can figure out like the bounds. So it is the case that if this like, it's like, kind of like a radius, I guess, is like z is what I called it, then the target point, it's diagonal, it's off diagonal. By the way, off and main might switch depending on like where you put your reference point and which way you consider like positive. It doesn't really matter, but I'll call this one off for now. So the off diagonal has like constant sum. So we know that the off diagonal has to either be like, let's see. So a higher constant sum would take us this way, right? Yeah, so let's do larger const. Yeah, so we know that it needs to either have like the constant sum, at least z plus sx plus sy, or it can be smaller. It can be minus z plus sx plus sy. And you'll notice that like these two diagonals are exactly 2z away. That is not a coincidence, right? That is like, this is 2z in some sense. But yeah, so cool. And then same thing for the off diagonal, right? So I'm just setting up all these equations, and the sort of cheesy-ish thing that I did is I just threw it all into a constraint solver. Constraint solvers, or in this case, so Z3 is a SAT constraint solver. You can basically give it any set of constraints, and it will do its best to find values that satisfy those constraints. And it's pretty good at it. This problem is in general like a hard problem, but Z3 has like a lot of heuristics and things that make it generally pretty fast at finding solutions. But yeah, so I just threw in these constraints in here, and this lets me say like or, right? I can say that at least one of these is true. And then I also say this, and I say check to see if this is satisfiable. And if it is, tell me what the what the stuff is. Like what are the values that actually satisfy this? Yeah, and that's basically it. I'm pretty sure that this idea with like the diamonds is intended. I don't know if the constraint solver is intended, but right after I finish this recording, I'm gonna check on the subreddit, and I guess I'll see what everyone else did there. But yeah, I guess another thing that's interesting, we can maybe see like how many people have solved this so far. If this is like a simpler, it could be the case that there's like a way simpler idea that is not this, and I just like way overthought it. Given how slowly the leaderboard filled, I think that's maybe a little unlikely. Yeah, it took 27 minutes for 100 people to think of this. That seems believable to me. I think if there was a much easier solution, it would have filled like earlier. But yeah, if we look at stats, yeah, even now, only 250 people have actually solved part 2 here. But yeah, this is definitely a tricky question. I feel like anything I should say, I should be careful to qualify it with, like, assuming there is not a simpler solution, I didn't overthink this, which I don't know whether is the case or not yet. So, but yeah, I think I will call the recording here. That's my solution. I think this diagonal thing is actually really cool. I've seen it come up a few different times when we care about these like Manhattan distance balls. And I think this is like a really neat idea that lets you do some pretty cool stuff. Cool. So that's it for today.